I would describe effective classroom management as how the overall feel of the classroom is presented to the students. The purpose of effective classroom management is to ensure that student involvement leads to a productive working environment. In order to do that, the teacher has to have a warm and welcoming classroom with, vibrant colors, and it makes the students want to come into the classroom because it's appealing to the eye and they makes them want to learn. That includes obviously what's on the walls is the colors inviting, is it dark and dull, as well as the materials in the classroom and their proximity to students. So are the markers and crayons and scissors, all that stuff accessible to the students, or is it tucked away and hidden or mislabeled or kind of shoved together in boxes where it makes the students have to dig and try to find the materials that they need, as well as the overall layout of the classroom. So is each student able to focus on their tasks and see the board and see the teacher, or are they in an area that's closed off and it's going to lead them into trouble? Are they sitting by someone who, they're really good friends with, so obviously they're going to talk a lot and then not get, their attention onto the screen, to the class, and, to the material. The classroom also needs to have rules and expectations for the students, which can vary based on the age you're teaching or the grade you're teaching. So that could be rules such as, running in the classroom, using inside voice, raising your hand if you have a question, keeping your desk area well kept and cleaned and organized, as well as using kind words and being respectful. Another factor of an effective classroom is the student engagement in the class. So are the students able to interact positively, and they want to be able to interact? Lastly, I would say that the classroom is best effective when there's a clear schedule and procedures that the students follow each day. This keeps these students on task and focused on what they need to do, as well as they know after math we do this, after this we do such. That way they know what is to come, what's expected of them next. I think it is important to have effective classroom management because without it, not only would or could our classrooms become hectic and chaotic at times, if not all the time, since there is no rules and structures and procedures, but because of that, it can also impact our students' overall education and their learning. If there's no classroom management, then students can become off task quicker. They could have no desire to complete their task because the classroom is so crazy and hectic and chaotic, or it could lead to those students who want to try to get a task done. The overall atmosphere can distract those students from what they are doing, which can lead to poor academic standings, such as their grades could slip because there's no structure. Their friendships could even technically become impacted because since there's no organization in the classroom, there's no rules and structures, then a lot of things can go on between students, as well as this can affect, like I said, their grades and overall learning. So then those students will not want to come to class or be in class and learn, or they will not have that same desire to learn and to achieve their academic goals because there is no purpose, I guess you could say, for them in the classroom. And our main goal as teachers is to make sure our students are being engaged in the classroom and they're learning the things that they need to learn in order for them to be successful. And like I said, if there is no structure within the classroom, all of the stuff that I've mentioned, such as, their poor grades and, friendships and all that, can also lead to negative emotions and feeling towards school in general, which can also impact their learning and education. If a student is in a classroom where it lacks classroom management, I know I've experienced that where I've had negative feelings about school where I'm always saying, I don't want to go to school, I don't care about school, all that stuff. And unfortunately, that affected my learning and education And as teachers, we need to make sure that our classroom is up to standards and up to par, and our students are being engaged in their learning. And that means having a structure, having procedures, and making our classroom as effective as we can.